Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Sarah from Gecko again. We're going to do another Facebook Live with you, which is really exciting. So thank you for joining us. It's a bit of a last minute thing because somebody cancelled yesterday, unfortunately. So we're stepping in at the last minute, but I thought I'd show you some products. And just while we're waiting for everybody to come online, you might have seen us, we've done a couple of these before. We did some fabric baskets and we did some thread catchers. But we're White Gecko. I'm one of the geckos that own the company, own White Gecko. And we're based in Dinas Powys, which is just between Cardiff and Barry, so in South Wales. It's been a beautiful, beautiful sunny day here. We've had some amazing weather, haven't we? So yeah, it's lovely. It's been fabulous. We're all really busy, which is amazing. We've taken lots and lots of web orders and things as well, and we're doing a Facebook Live every day, so like this, but we do it over on our own page at 1 PM each day. So so if you need a sew-in fix when you can't get to your local shop, we are there every day at 1 PM. So so thank you for Craft Shows for letting me come on again. Hopefully you'll enjoy the little demo I've got, and please do say hello. Please give us a thumbs up or a smiley face if you're watching, because we're going to do a little giveaway. We're going to give away one of the products that we're doing today. So like we've done beforehand, if you smart, say hello or comment, or just give us a thumbs up on as a comment. Everybody that comments will go into a free prize draw to win one of the items. So so have we got people coming online? So yeah. Drew's with me again, my cameraman, my son.
We've got Linda, got
Hi.
Sean, Terry.
Hi everybody, lovely.
Grace, Helen, Christine.
Lots and lots coming online, fabulous, lovely, lovely. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little demo on Quilt As You Go. So there's lots of different ways of doing Quilt As You Go. I'm going to be talking about the June Tailor Quilt As You Go products. June Tailor's an American company. They've been going for years and years and years. I think it's like 30, 40 years. They've been going for ages and ages. And these were one of the first things we had into the shop when we started 5 years ago. And we're still selling lots of them now. I absolutely love these products. If you've dabbled in sewing but never had a go at quilting, these are a brilliant way to start, because they are designed for absolute beginners to follow along with. But if you are a little bit more experienced, you can play with them a little bit as well. They do lots and lots of products, lots and lots of different products. They do rulers and templates and things, as well as the pre-printed wadding that I'm going to show you and do the demo on. They do things like quilt packs. So this is one of the Quilt As You Go packs, and this genuinely took me 3.5, 4 hours to do, start to finish. It took me longer to sew the binding on than it did to actually do the quilting. They do things like, I'm going to get Drew to take you around, they do things like little wine totes and all these beautiful pillows. These are all Quilt As You Go as well. Really, really nice and simple. I don't know if you can see these pillows. They also do some amazing bags as well. So I'm just going to get Drew to pull back out. And they do some really fabulous bags too. All of these are exactly the same technique. How you put them together is the same, whether you're doing a bag or a pillow or a mug mat. So, anybody there? Anybody saying hello?
Yes.
How are we doing?
We got Ali Roberts, Maria,
Hi guys.
Christine,
Lovely.
Pam Lewis Williams.
Oh, lovely.
These people.
Lovely. Brilliant. Amazing. Thank you for joining us. So, the Quilt As You Go pack, I'm going to show you the mug mats today, because I think they're a really nice way to start. If you, like I said, if you've never played with quilting before, you get 7 of the little mug mats in a pack, and you also get some extra fabric in there as well, which I'll show you in a second. But they've got 7 different designs. So the nice thing about this is that you get to play with all the designs, so you really get to sort of experience all of the different Quilt As You Go bits. So I'm going to show you the packs that we've got, and then we're going to get on with the demo. So these are the mug mat packs that we do. So they've got one that's called Daily Muse, which is all about little cat sayings and all. And I don't know if Drew can just come along here. You can see that they've got these lovely little cat sayings which come with the wadding. Okay, so they've got all those as well, like that. There's one for dogs as well. There's, again, you've got 7 in there. There's one that's called Uplifting, which are these lovely ones here. So you don't get the fabric, but you do get the pattern and the wadding and these little sentiments in the centre as well, like this. You can see you've got all these really beautiful little sentiments on them. And then you've got another one which is called Quilty Fun, which is all like stitching ones. This one that says, what's it? When life gives you scraps, make a quilt. So I'm going to show you what's in the packs and then actually how to do it, because it's incredibly simple. So in the pack you get, I'll grab one down here, you get pre-printed wadding. So this one's the smaller ones, which are these ones here, okay? But just this gives you an idea of what you get. So this one's only got 3 in it. These are slightly smaller packs, and these are like almost coaster size. And you can hopefully you can see, if Drew can get up nice and close on this, can you see that you've got little numbers on all of them? Okay, they're all numbered. Hopefully you can see that. So it really is like paint by numbers, it's sewing by numbers. Okay, so you can, hopefully you can see that you've got little numbers on there. Now those numbers relate to how you're going to sew them and in what order you're going to sew. So all the kits come with a really fabulous instruction leaflet. You've got everything you need there, exactly what you need to cut, and I'm going to take you through the cutting in a second. What you need to cut and how to do it. Okay, we've done these with like 7-8-year-olds, like brownie age type, and they can manage it because it's all straight line sewing. The other thing I like about these as well is that because you've got 7 in them, we had one lady back at Christmas bought a couple of packs, and she did one each for her friends, and she bought them a beautiful mug and did like hot chocolate and marshmallow pack to go with it, and gave them the little mug mat with the mug as a present. So they are a fantastic way of just getting to know the June Tailor products. So I'm going to take you through some of the cutting as well for those of you who've not quilted before, because it's relatively simple, the cutting. Okay, before I do, if there any comments or questions there, how's everybody doing?
We've got Sarah watching, we've got Linda said good cameraman Drew. Sandra says Drew, make sure your name's on the credits.
Oh, absolutely, he needs to, doesn't he?
Maria says I love the cat pack.
Yeah, the cats are fantastic. There's cat ones and dog ones, so yeah, they're great. So grab my instructions again. So we're going to do this little one here. Okay, so I don't know if Drew can come up. So we're going to do this little one here, this little design, which is a square and a square one. So I've got cut my wadding out like that, just roughly. You doesn't have to be really neat or anything at this point, because we'll trim it all up afterwards. So I've cut my wadding out and I've got my backing piece ready, but it tells you on the instructions exactly what size to cut each of the numbered pieces. So I've cut some of them out already, because you don't need to watch me cut for ages. But I thought I'd just show you how I do some cutting. So if you are new to quilting, you can kind of get an idea about it. So pieces number 2 to 5, I want 2 3-inch squares, which I'm then going to cut in half diagonally. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this here. So you can see that the colour here relates to the colour there, and it tells me that I want 2 3-inch squares cut in half. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Just move these bits out of the way. Again, excuse our poor old cutting mat. It's looking very, very... once we can get out of lockdown, we'll buy a new one. Treat ourselves to a new mat. So all I'm going to do first of all is straighten up this edge. Now you could absolutely do this with scissors if you wanted to. If you prefer to cut with scissors, that's fine. You could measure out, with a tape measure and cut with scissors. I'm a quilter, so I tend to use rotary cutter and ruler for everything. So I'm going to show you with this, okay? Now I've got my fabric that I want to be those pieces, and I'm just going to straighten up my edge. Now I've got it folded in half because I'm going to cut 2 at a time. So I've got it folded like that, and I'm going to use one of the little horizontal lines on the ruler against the fold of the fabric, and I'm just going to trim down that edge. Okay, like that, just so I've got a nice clean cut to start with. And then I want 2 3-inch squares. So now I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you would reverse this. But I'm a right-hander, so I'm going to line my 3-inch line on my ruler here. So you can see that's my 3-inch line up against that cut edge that I've just made. And then it's a little extra safeguard to make sure that this is safe. I take one of my horizontal lines and I move it down so it's sat along the fold of the fabric. So it's lined up on that straight edge there and along the fold of the fabric. Okay. I always said to my maths teacher when I was at school that I'd never use like geometry and trigonometry. Then you don't use that in real life. I now use it all the time. This now has to be straight because it's all lined up. Okay, so hand nice and flat on the ruler. Try not to bridge, okay, because it can slip. So if you put your hand flat on the ruler so you've got an even pressure, and cut up that left line there, the right hand side. Okay, so we now know that those are 3 inches wide. We're then going to turn it and we're going to cut 3 inches that way. So I'm going to straighten this edge again, like that. Ooh, there we go. And then we're going to do 3 inches that way. So again, I'm lining up those lines there on my ruler and go up like that. So I've now got 2 3-inch squares. Okay. Now in the instructions it tells me I want them cut in half diagonally. So I'm going to line my ruler up. Just left my blade out. Don't leave my blade out because these are ridiculously sharp. I'm going to line my ruler up with the 2 points like that and cut up like that, and there we go. As quickly as that, I've got those pieces cut ready to start sewing. So I've cut all the others ready, so you don't need to watch me cut lots. Okay. Now in the packs you get these lovely the little sentiments that are on the centre of all the mug bats. You get 7 of them, so there's 1 for each of the designs. So I've cut out the one that I need for this block, and that's actually going to be block number 1. So I'm just going to move this out of the way a second, because I'm going to need all those pieces. Don't need that one just at the moment. So just while I'm faffing around, who's there? Who's talking? Who's saying hello to me?
Nikki England says hello.
Hi, Nikki.
Sarah says hello.
Hi, Sarah.
And Linda says that's a good tip about not arching hand.
Yeah, nice and flat, and you've got an even pressure on your ruler. It's less likely to move then. Okay, so the first thing we want to do before we start sewing is we're going to attach the backing fabric to the back of the wadding. Now, you can use whatever basting spray you've got. You could hand baste them if you haven't got basting spray. I quite like the June Tailor basting spray, or the 505 spray is really good for that. Yes, okay. Ooh. Managed to turn the nozzle, it went everywhere then. Managed to spray it up my arm. There we go. And then I'm just going to attach the backing fabric like that. Okay. Just give it a nice spread it out. Oh, I've got a thread stuck on there. Let's get rid of those threads. That's where I very quickly realised, like 3 minutes before we came on, that my bobbin was empty. So I was like, quick, do a bobbin. Okay, so that's nice and stuck down now, okay? It's all stuck on. It's stuck to my fingers as well. Let's get rid of those. Let me go into my little pot. Okay, so that's all stuck, so it's ready to start sewing. So, you can see you've got a blue line. You've got a blue grid on here. Oh, excuse me. So number 1 is your little sentiment panel. So that's going to sit right in the centre like that, okay? And it should line up with the blue lines, because the blue lines on these, they're not sewing lines, they're placement lines, okay? And then I'm going to take piece number 2, which are those little ones we cut a minute ago, and we're going to pop that, so that eventually is going to sit there. Now at the moment it looks too big, but that's because the cut instructions all have your seam allowances built into them, okay? So we're going to pop this right sides together along that edge, so that my raw edges are against that blue line just there. Can you see? Hopefully Drew's getting this. So I've got the blue line there, and my raw edges are sitting nice and neatly along there. You know I'm not a pinner, girls, but I am, and guys, I am going to pop a pin there just to stop it all moving. Okay, I've got approximately the same either side hanging over. All right, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch down 1/4 inch. So we're going to pop this over to the sewing machine. Now you can use your 1/4 inch foot if you like, but the only thing with that is I find that the little guide thing sometimes gets caught in the wadding because it's trying to run over wadding. So if you can, I would move your needle across so that you've got your 1/4 inch. Ooh, hang on, I lost my foot of the sewing machine. Or if you can't do that on your machine, you could draw a 1/4 inch line in. You could just measure a 1/4 inch line and put a little pencil line or a washable marker line in there so that you can sew it. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, just another little tip. So I'm lining the edge of the foot up with the edge of the fabric, and I'm going to drop the needle in and then bring the needle back up and bring that bobbin thread up to the top. Now by doing that, it stops it nesting underneath, because sometimes that bobbin thread can get caught and make like a little knot, a little mess under there. So I find if I do that and just bring the bobbin thread up, it just helps keep it all neat on the back. Because this is going to be the back of your mat. You're actually stitching, you're quilting it as you're stitching it. Okay, so 1/4 inch seam all the way down. So I'm just going to sew 1/4 inch seam all the way down there, and I'm going to stop when I get to the blue line here. Okay, there we go. Cut that off. Now, if you're really meticulous, you can just bring that bobbin thread. If you pull hard on the top thread, you can bring that bobbin thread up and just quickly knot it off. And again, that means you haven't got any ends to sew in. You can just like that and just cut it off close-ish. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push this one out like that. And can you see that that now sits nicely in those blue lines? Okay, I would finger press it for now. You don't want to pop an iron on the wadding too much. Okay, the least you can iron it at this point when you've got bare wadding, the better. Next one goes on, so this is number 3 here, and again in my pattern it tells you exactly which one is which. So that one's going to go on just like I did this one. Pop a pin in the centre there just to hold it all together. Okay, and then we're going to stitch down that one. Just make sure that's lined up nicely. I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to do 1/4 inch. Okay, while I'm sewing there, Drew, is there any comments there? Anybody got any questions? You know, throw questions at me, guys and girls. What do you need to know? What would you like to know?
Eileen said, hi, I'm a bit late, but I'm here.
Ah, lovely. Thank you for joining us.
Catherine says, really clear demonstration.
Cool, lovely. Thank you.
That's about it.
Don't forget, if you'd like to win one of these mug mat packs, we will put everybody into a prize draw. Anybody who comments, whether you just say hello, or, you know, or like I said, give us a thumbs up, whatever. Just leave us a comment, and we will draw a winner out tomorrow on our Facebook Live, and you can choose which one of the 4 designs you'd like. And you've got the dogs, you've got the cats, you've got the inspirational one, which is really nice. Which if you haven't, you know, if you don't want sort of non-specific ones, because they're like be your own kind of beautiful, just nice sort of gentle sayings. Or there is one that's called Quilty Fun, which is all sewing one. So there you go. I've pushed that one out and popped a pin in, and then I'm going to move to number 4, which is around here. So you can see it's just straight line stitching. So I'm going to pin this one on like that. Okay, like that. Okay, and again I'm going to stitch down there. All right, I'm just going to flip this over a second. You might not be able to see this because I'm using a white thread, but can you see that I'm actually stitching through to the back, and that which is doing the quilting as well as the actual piecing. You might be able to see a bit better on one of these. Let me see if I can find one you can see a bit better on. Yeah, can you see? So you're actually quilting them as you're doing your piecing. Okay. Right, I'm going to put a few more pieces on for you, then hopefully I'm going to show you how to square them up, depending on what time we've got, okay? Square up, and then we might even get on to binding, depending on what time it is. So what have you all been up to? What have you been doing? Has anybody been doing any craft projects? How have you all been doing? Do shout and let us know, because it's nice to hear from everybody.
Pam Lewis Williams says, well, these kits are fab. Do you do the kits or lap quilts and sentimental separately?
So yeah, so each of the packs are separate. We don't do the sentiment separately. So this little piece here, unfortunately, doesn't come separately. They come as part of the pack. So they're included in your, you see, they're in with the wadding. I would love to be able to get these separately. I could sell a lot of them, but unfortunately they only do them with the packs. But like I said, there's 4 different types. Yeah, there's so many different products, lots and lots of different products that they do. The wine totes, you get 3 of the wine totes in a pack, and they're brilliant. I think it's a really nice way of you know, if you're giving like a nice bottle of wine or a bottle of gin or something, you know, as a gift, you could make a little one of those, and you know, it's it's a little bit more personal, isn't it, than a paper gift bag. It's just that little bit different. the pillows, you get 3 pillows in the packs, and they're fantastic. You get 3 different designs in them. So again, it's a nice way of exploring the products. The quilt here, this is basically a huge version of this. So this was like number 1, and I did 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just keep working out. So rather than being a small version, it's just a really big version of this block. And they're so quick. If you've got something like a baby shower or a friend's birthday or something you want to do something quick for, Christmas presents, you know, we've got to start thinking about Christmas, haven't we? I know it's June, so as crafters, we've got to get started early. These are fantastic because they look like you've put lots of effort in, and they've taken you ages and ages, and they really won't. They'll take you, you can do a whole one in a day, no problem. It probably take you, well, it took me longer to sort of figure out what fabrics I was going to place where and actually pick the fabrics than it did to cut and sew them. Because I like to audition fabrics, you know, and you put them up against each other and you wonder, you know, well, is that one going to work? Is that one going to work? Okay, so that's my first little 4 put round that centre square. Okay, so now I'm going to put my next ones on. Okay, so I'm going to go with, let me just get rid of that thread there.
Sarah, could you sew all the mug mounts together to make a lap quilt so you can use it how do you pronounce it? Sentiments?
Sentiments, yes. Absolutely. There's no reason you couldn't do that at all. So rather than make individual placemats, you could quilt as you go these together. Okay, so if you did like if you bought maybe 2 packs, and you could actually join them and make a whole quilt out of the packs, and you'd have the little sentiments on them all, and it'd be a bit like a sampler quilt because they're all different blocks. So yeah, absolutely, why not? You could join them and make them into like a bed runner or something. We did a Zoom class recently with one of the packs, which we turned into like block keepers, like project wallets. I should have brought that over with me to show you. Actually, I forgot to bring it with me. But that was really lovely. That was a really nice class. Actually, met some nice people, and yeah, that, you know, so there's so many things you can do with them. Really is. Okay, I'll show you in a minute about how to join them together as well. So I'm just going to carry on just stitching a few more of these, and then, you know, please do ask, you know, has anyone else got any questions while I'm sewing?
Christine said June Tailor Zippy Done Zip, is that fab?
Yes, the Zippity Doo Done Zips, they're a June Tailor products, they're fantastic. Again, we've got those in stock if anybody wants them. I'm not just trying to flog, well, I'm trying to flog a little bit of stuff, obviously, but the Zippity Doo Done blocks are fab. Zippity Doo Done Zips. They're a new way of putting in a zip, so you don't have, it's all like the bias is joined ready on for you. Brilliant, really, really quick and simple. And we use those in the project bags actually that we did on the Zoom class. So I'm going to put my next one on, and I'm just going to whip through this a little bit now because I'm hoping to get to a point where I can show you how to trim these up and then bind them. How are we doing for time? We're okay at the moment. I should hopefully get this done. I'm going to go a bit faster on it, okay? Just so I can hopefully show you how to get this done. Okay. Are you all excited for the craft shows days of classes? They've got something coming up on the, is it the 4th and 5th of July? Which should have been the day my son and daughter-in-law were getting married, but we had to cancel it. But yeah, they've got some fantastic, they've got Debbie Shaw and all sorts coming on, which will be lovely. Lots and lots of things. I think I might just have to clear the schedule for that day and watch it all. There we go, so I'm going to pop that one on. And I'm just lining them up still on those blue lines. And whipping my way through this. Hopefully, not many pieces left to go on. Okay, just that one. Any questions there, Drew? Anybody got anything they want to say?
Liz said, fantastic demonstration, learning loads.
Oh, fab, thank you. It's nice.
That's it at the moment.
It's fab. It's you know, we've learnt so much from the Facebook Lives that we do. You know, we didn't have much time for social media when we had the shop open fully and lots of classes and stuff. But you know, if any positive has come out of this whole lockdown thing, it's the social media side of it. It's been amazing. It's just been fantastic to meet new people and, you know, be able to give tips and, you know, hints to people that might not necessarily be able to get into the shop. Okay, so I hope you can see this is coming on, okay, and how quickly this is coming together. So the next ones now are these little pieces here. So I'm going to pop that one along there. Ooh, just get that pin out like that and pin that one down. And I'm going to do 2 at a time this time. So I'm going to pop that one that side. I'm going to flip it round and we're going to pop this one this side. Okay, like that. There we go, like that and that, and then I'm just going to quickly sew those down and then we can put the last ones on and I'll show you about how to trim them up. Okay, there we go there. So, anybody else there? Ooh, got caught in that pin,
Sandra said yes, they were using mine for X stitch. It's a lovely size sifty bag.
Ah, for your cross stitch. So yeah, Sandra made one of the project bags with us, and yeah, she's using us for your cross stitch. Oh, that's fab, lovely. I haven't done cross stitch in years, actually, years and years. But I used to enjoy it. My daughter-in-law and her mum, Kate, they do a lot of cross stitch. It's quite nice, gentle little thing to do, isn't it? Cross stitch, nice. Well, unless you have to, you know, go wrong and have to frog it all out. There we go. So. Nearly there.
Erica said, I attended Sarah's Zoom class, which was if I can talk, which was great.
Oh,
I really enjoyed the first Quilt As You Go project.
Lovely, fabulous. Oh, thanks, Erica. That's nice of you to say. So we are hopefully going to be doing some more. I am working on them now, actually. That was just before I whipped back over here. That was the thing I was doing, was just working out the next Zoom class. So, and then my last 2 are just going to go here. Okay. So just pop these ones down. Sorry, I know at the moment, but I'd like to get to a point where I can show you how to just trim it up. If I'd have thought about it, I should have done a Blue Peter, shouldn't I? And here's one I had prepared earlier. But like we said, this was a bit of a last minute one coming on today. So
Linda says pretty Liberty fabric you're using.
Oh, I know, using some pretty Liberties. I love Liberty fabric. This is their quilting cotton range, which is like a Lazenby cotton. It's really stunning quality and so nice to sew with. It's really lovely. Okay, so just going down that one. Oh, my poor little machine sounding so ropey. It needs servicing desperately. But nobody's around at the moment to do it, so I'm just lining that back up. This is the last line and we're nearly done. There we go, all the way down that one, like that. And that's the mug mat, all the actual piecing bit done. Now, if you're a beginner, you can absolutely leave it at this point. Okay, you don't have to do anything else to them, obviously apart from bind them, which I'll show you in a minute, but you don't have to do anything else to them at all. Okay, so you can see how that's all come out now, and you can see how the points are all worked out for you, so you don't lose your points. I would just give it a very, very gentle press at this point, so I'm just going to grab the little iron, and because I'm not actually pressing directly onto the wadding, I'm pressing just the fabric, I'd give that a nice gentle little press, like that. Okay. Like that, just so we've got it all nice and flat. You can leave it like that. We're going to trim it up and bind it, and they're absolutely fine as they are. However, if you're a little bit more of an intermediate quilter, or you're a bit more adventurous beginner, there is nothing stopping you adding some extra quilting onto this at this point. You could do some shadow quilting, you could use some free motion on there, and because they're a nice little project, I'm getting the words out, because they're nice and little, you're not trying to struggle practicing your free motion with a big quilt. You could just really go for it and practice on these. You know, you've got some lovely spaces here you could work into. Okay, but we're just going to leave it that. It's fine just to leave them if you want to. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to trim them up. So I'm going to use, now you can just use scissors on them, but I'm going to use, you've got little guidelines. I don't know if Drew can show you here. So let me just pull this back. Can you see you've got little guidelines here? Okay, and there'll be one this end as well. And that's overhanging the fabric so that you can line your ruler up with those so you can see where you're cutting. Okay, so I'm going to cut up that side and turn it, and I'm going to line it up there and line it up there. And again, I would just make sure that cut I've just made is on one of the horizontal lines. So I'm going to go up like that and then turn it, and where's the guideline? There it is, like that. And I'm trimming this up so that it's all nice and neat. There we go. Okay, so just get rid of that excess wadding and all my threads. I didn't pull all my threads through. I would normally, but obviously because of time restraints I didn't with this one. Okay, and you would now bind these. We got time to show you binding? I think I can quickly show you binding. I won't be able to get the whole thing done, but I can quickly show you how to do binding. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one aside a minute. Let me grab that fabric. There we go. So I'm going to cut. Now you can do these one of two ways. You can pop your binding on and then turn it to the back and slip stitch it, or you can put your binding on the back, turn it to the front and hand stitch it. Not hand stitch, machine stitch it. These ones here, these were machine stitched. So you can see, I can't remember if this was Leslie or Linda who did these. They both did 2 lots for me, so I can't remember. I'm sorry, girls, whoever it was that did these for me. They attached them to the back and then turned it over and then stitched them on. Okay. Now you can leave the back in big and turn the backing fabric over. I like this sort of binding though on them. Entirely up to you which way you do it. This is just like an extra little hack. Okay, so I'm going to cut some 2.5-inch strips out of this fabric to make my binding. Okay, so I'm going to just fold it over. I wouldn't go more than sort of 4 times. Okay, I'm going to line up my 2.5-inch line along that edge again, just like we did before, and I'm going to cut a couple of strips. Okay, like that and like that. How are we doing for time, Drew? We okay for this at the moment?
It's just gone 1/2 past.
Okay, cool. Right, you want this enough strips, enough. You're going to join it continuously, which I'm going to show you, and you want enough to go around all 4 edges, plus about 6 inches. Okay, 5-6 inches. So, easiest way to join. You're going to put the first one down flat, face up. Okay, I don't know if you can come in here, lovely. Okay, so I'm going to put this one face up like that, and I'm going to pop this one right sides together, lining up that edge there. Can you see? So I've lined it up, so this one's going like this one's coming along like that. And now I'm hoping I've got a pencil here. There we go, that's a waterproof marker, that's fine. So I want to draw a line from corner to corner like that. Okay, and I'm going to draw that line across like that. I'm going to pin in as well. Now you can join on the straight, that's absolutely fine, that works as well, but I thought while we've got time I'll show you the diagonal join. I'm now going to stitch down that line, right directly on that drawn line. Okay, so while I'm doing that, Drew, anyone else there? Anyone else want to say hello?
Sandra said she bought a kit in China. It was all in Chinese, as you can imagine. I have a problem.
Oh, bless you. I don't speak Chinese, I'm afraid. I wish I could. That would be a really useful skill. But no, I don't speak Chinese, I'm afraid. But if you want to bring the pattern in when we're allowed and all, we might be able to work it out from the diagrams and stuff, maybe. What I'm going to do is just chop off this excess fabric like this. Okay? And then when you've opened this out, you've got a nice join like that. So, I just need to grab the iron a second. It's down here. I won't be long. Oh, that was a classic opportunity for one of those down the stairs things and I missed it. Whew. So let me just move all these bits out of the way. I'm just going to open up my little ironing board like that. And we're going to fold these in half. So I'm just going to iron that seam just to keep that nice and flat. And we're going to iron this wrong sides together in half to do a double fold binding like that. Okay, and then down this one, just move along. And this is a bit boring, I'm afraid, this little bit. It's a bit of ironing. It's the only kind of ironing I do. I don't like doing the ironing. Make my husband do the ironing. So there you go, nearly to the end. And like I said, you might need to join 3 pieces. It depends on the length of your fabric, but you know, just join enough so that it will go all the way round your mat. There we go, and we're done. So I'm just going to pop this out of the way again because I'm lethal with an iron. So pop that down there out of the way. So we're going to attach this to here. Now I'm going to attach it to the front and flip it to the back, okay? You can do it the other way, machine stitch if you like. So it doesn't really matter where you start. I'm going to start on one of these sides here. So I'm going to pin this in, and I want to leave a tail about, what's that? How long's that? About 4 inches that tail is, okay? And I'm just going to pin just where I'm going to start. We're going to start stitching here 1/4 of an inch all the way along to 1/4 inch away from that corner here, okay? And I'm hoping you guys are going to be able to see this on the machine. So drew this a little bit close-up work for you. So I'm going to stitch this. I'm going to start there. I'm going to leave this bit loose because that's where we're going to join it later. I'm going to stitch down this side, okay? Sorry, I know it's noisy, girls and guys. There we go. When it gets to 1/4 inch away, which that is about there now, I'm going to leave my needle in. I'm going to lift the foot and turn it. So the corner is now facing me, okay? So I've got a little 45-degree angle. And I'm going to stitch right off the edge, like that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to break the yarn, and hopefully you can see that. So I've stitched all the way along and then stitched off at an angle. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Now I'm going to leave it here so that you can, it looks like you're doing the fold, so it should be facing you. You're going to fold it up like this. Okay, so can you see that this is nice and straight here, and finger press it. And then you're going to fold it back on yourself, on itself like that. So can you see that these are lined up here, and this is now lined up with the edge of the fabric again, and you end up with this little fold like this. Okay, so this is a mitered binding, that doing it like this, and I find that little 45-degree line that we stitched off there, what that does is give the fabric something to fold against. It's got something when you're folding it to sort of like stop it over folding, and you get really, really neat corners. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to stitch 1/4 inch all the way down. Okay, we're getting close to time, so I'm just hopefully get one more corner in, and then hopefully you guys can see this. I don't want to be on too long. I'm going to be boring the hell out of you otherwise when we waffling on. So just while I'm stitching this, any comments, Drew? Anybody there?
What we've got Linda saying she likes this way of binding. Yeah,
I like this way of binding too, it's fab. There we go. And then I'm just going to stitch off that edge. There we go, like that. And again, just cut that thread. And then I'm going to push it away on itself and back, like that. Okay, so I'll just do that again for you. So I'm pushing it away from it, and then back on itself like that. Making sure that that's nice and lined up. Pop another pin in there. I think I've just got time just to go down this corner, and then what I'll do is I'll open the I might just be able to get round so I can show you how I join it. Okay, so excuse me while I sew fast for a second. Anybody having a chat there? Don't forget to just say hello or comment, and you'll be a chance of winning one of these packs. Okay, and like I said, there's 7 of them in the packs, but they do lots and lots of different designs, and lots of different products. But I thought because we made the mug mats, I thought we could give some of these away. So I'm just going to quickly do these other 2 because I'd like to be able to show you how to join, or how I like to join my binding. Again, there's lots of different ways, but It's just one way that I like. Okay, anybody there?
Linda says, thanks Sarah and Joe for another lovely session.
That's alright, thank you for joining us, guys. It's my absolute pleasure doing this. I like to talk anyway, as anybody who knows me will tell you. They can't shut me up, frankly. This way I get to talk about something I love, something I'm passionate about, to people who actually want to listen to me instead of my poor kids.
Sarah says, we're all memorised.
Oh, it's the pressure of a mitered corner live on camera. Whew. And you know about that with the the Legenda one. There we go. So one last one, like this. Okay. And then I'm just going to stitch just down this corner, and then I'm going to show you how to join it. Ooh, I'll just pop a pin in. I think I've got a really blunt pin there. I need to go through Dave the Dash Hound and pick out all the dodgy pins. I'm just going to back stitch just a wee bit just to secure that while I'm doing the join. Okay, so how I would join this now is I'm going to chop some of, I want a little bit of an overlap, but I'm going to chop it off about there. Okay, and on this one here, again I've got a little bit too much there, let's just take a weeny bit off. Okay, I'm going to open it up, I can take that pin out now. I'm going to turn that raw edge in and just finger press it like mad. Now if you did straight joins on your binding, you can leave it like that, but because I did a diagonal one, I want a diagonal join, so I'm going to, the one that's touching the top of the mat, you're going to turn that down as well to make a little diagonal, a little 45-degree like that. Okay, and then we're going to pop this one inside those two. Again, that's a little bit long still, so I'm just going to chop a weeny bit more off like that. So I'm going to pop it inside, because I've opened this up, and pop it inside there like that. Okay, just make sure it's all nice and flat and it's fitted in nicely. Pop a pin back, oh, I've got that blunt pin again. Pop a pin back in there like that, and I'm going to start stitching here, and I'm going to come all the way down and go just past where I started, and then hopefully you'll be able to see how this is all done. There we go. Okay, right. Oh, sorry girls, I am going on a bit long, but we're nearly done. Okay, you would then press all this out. Okay, so when you press it out like this and give it a really good press, hopefully you can see. Can you see how those corners go really nicely there? Okay, and then on the back, so you would press it all out, give it a really good press. Okay, and just make sure that all that's nice and pressed out. I'm just going to finger press now rather than getting the iron again, because I'm aware of the time. Okay, and then on the back, you're going to turn this like this, and then that one's going to come over like, you cut all your threads off before you do this. Don't be lazy like I am. There we go. And when you turn that over, can you see you get a really nice, if I just pop a pin there, you get a really nice mitre on the back like that. Okay, and then you can see you've got that little mitre on the front as well, and then you would just slip stitch all this down. You could machine sew it if you wanted to, but I quite like that little bit of slip stitching. So that's Quilt As You Go. That's the mug mats. Okay, like I said, any of the products, things like the pillows and the wine totes, the quilt and all, any of them are all done exactly the same method. The bag, even the bag, everything is done exactly the same method. So yeah, that's it. All the products are available on our website, which is www.whitegeckocraftlounge.co.uk. We are still shipping out. It's still free shipping. And if you want to join us on our Facebook Lives, which is 1 o'clock every day apart from Sunday, we have Sundays off. That happens every day over on our Facebook page, which again is just White Gecko Craft Lounge. You can find us. Yeah, that's it. That's mug mats. Thank you so much for listening to me waffle on again. Thank you to the craft shows for letting us come on and do another little bit of sewing demo. Please don't forget to comment, and if you do comment, we'll do a free prize draw for one of the packs, okay? And you can choose from one of the ones that we've got available. So we've got the quilty one, the uplifting one, the dog and the cats, okay? So we'll give away one of these packs, and you've got all your sentiments. So please do comment, and then I will, once we've done the draw, I will find you on Facebook and drop you a message to get in touch. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon, hopefully. Yeah, maybe back again. Bye guys.